Okay, we got to watch this because it sums up the Gen Z versus baby boomer versus millennial divide really well.
Well, Gen Z is pissed at us boomers, and I can't say that I blame them. There was an article that came out the other day that said you would have to have 5 minimum wage jobs to live in Austin, Texas, to afford the rent there. It's ridiculous. So those of you who say,
Wait for
well,
it.
back in 1980, I made $15 an hour and I bought a house. Well, guess what? Adjusted for inflation, your $15 an hour that you made in 1980 would now be over $112,000.
So that's insane. And what's even more insane is that Gen Z is actually a surprisingly hard-working generation, according to a lot of studies and reports. Now, they get a bad rap from baby boomers, and we're going to get into that in a second. But Gen Z has officially been called lazy from a lot of people, Gen X and baby boomers as well. And that's really, really surprising. And that does not back up the statistics. What you see instead, I think, is even more shocking. So they're not lazy, quote unquote, as far as hard working goes, but they are shocking us in a lot of different ways. And I'm going to get into that in a second because that explains a lot. What I'm about to tell you kind of explains a lot of what we're seeing with generational divides in America right now. So 58% of Gen Z said they'd be willing to work nights and weekends for higher pay. The number decreased with previous generations, with Gen X saying 40% of them would do it and baby boomers saying 40% of them would do it. So Gen Z has high entrepreneur aspirations, with 42% saying they want to have their own business. Now, that is really, really insane and way different than the other generations. And I think in part because you had not seen the internet proliferation that you did with Gen Z. So Gen Z can basically go on any cell phone or computer and see a million side hustles and see a million people that are expanding their minds to show them that they can do business themselves and they don't need to rely on a corporation. Furthermore, a lot has changed for young people in the last 50 years thanks to technology and societal advances. And also, they're not being able to rely on companies like baby boomers did. They don't have the pension. They don't have this. They don't have that. So they can't really put in 40 years and expect to get anything out. In general, this whole generation feels that these systems and institutions that we were all born and raised on have failed them. So much so that they don't even think they can really buy or afford a house. So, and this is really, really true in the statistics. And not only do they feel like they can't buy or afford a house, we have baby boomers that are dominating the house market right now. Absolutely dominating. A separate Redfin study finds that 2 of every 5 Gen Zers and millennials work side hustles in order to save up for a down payment. Now, why would they even want to buy a house? And what are the challenges confronting them? So the biggest challenges preventing them to buy a house is 23% say income, which is really, really wild because you look and say, oh, there's jobs to be had, there's jobs to be done, etc. Until you hear about that one Gen Z story that just came out about the man who applied for 456 jobs. Gen Z kid, 456 jobs, did not get any of them. He got instead, wait for it, one internship. So there's other things preventing them from buying the home, and home prices is huge. Now, not only home prices just in general. So what I mean by that is, the average home price in America is $408,000 right now. And that's way more than it was when baby boomers and Gen X were around that 25, 27 mark, way more, almost quadruple the times of that. But not only that, they're being outbid by baby boomers. So baby boomers are locked into their big houses and they have a lot of cash. So baby boomers are straight up buying houses in cash and knocking Gen Z and millennials out. Now, millennials are kind of interesting too because millennials are trying to get move up buyers right now, meaning that they want bigger houses, but baby boomers are not going anywhere even though they don't need those houses. So millennials are being squeezed, and since they're not moving, Gen Z is not moving either because Gen Z, can't buy those small homes that the millennials had, and it's just contributing to a huge kind of generational meltdown, whereas Gen Z wants to burn it all down. They want to get rid of capitalism. They want to get rid of some of these fundamental systems of America that we've seen for so long. More videos about this soon.